The M&A Advisor is always happy to welcome Greg Bedrosian, who's the managing partner and co-CEO of Gregory Partners. Greg, thanks for being here.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Tell us more about what you do, your company, and your specific role.
Sure, so Gregory Partners is an international investment bank. We have 10 offices across the US and Europe, and we focus on serving tech, media, and telecom companies in M&A and corporate finance activities.
Tell us about the changes you've seen in this digital era with the people to close the deals and the deals themselves. We've just been a big evolution.
There has, and in fact what we see on M&A transactions is often the deal side of it, the financial side of it, the strategy side of it is addressed, and the HR and the team side of it is often left, unfortunately, more to the last minute. And so what we're seeing now and trying to push and align is to get integration-oriented topics around the company's post-merger addressed a little bit earlier in the process.
How have the deals changed as opposed to when it was a corporation, buying another corporation? It's evolved now more.
Well, it has. I mean, there's a number of different buyer universes. So it could be big global corporates, it could be private equity investors, and it could be other mid-sized companies merging with one another. What we are seeing as it relates to all of that is related to the technology side, is often a lot of the deals are based on integrating a lot of what's going on underneath the hood of these companies from a technology perspective.
From technology changing so rapidly, how has your company had to evolve with the times and look toward the future?
So great question. So we spend as an investment banking firm most of our time with the leadership of the big corporates and the CEOs and boards of the mid-sized companies and the private equity and venture capital investor universe. In the new era, we're actually finding we're broadening our outreach in terms of the types of players that we're speaking to. We're very active in technology M&A, but we're often talking to more traditional industrial companies looking to acquire technology companies to get some of those functionalities, as one example.
What are some of the challenges that you're seeing? Are there sectors that are really lagging behind as far as with their technology and their digital practices?
Well, I think there's two elements. One is companies' use of technology, and in those cases it's often the larger companies that are maybe more set in their ways that are a bit laggard, although that's catching up. I think the other element that we're seeing is entire industries being transformed, which is quite exciting. For example, our firm is quite active in alternative energy and electronic vehicle related, both the sensor technologies that help autonomous cars to drive, as well as the electric charging networks themselves that power those. And those types of businesses connect everywhere from the old electric power grid all the way through to the most cutting edge sensor technology on how one gets a driverless car to drive from Los Angeles to New York and not crash into anything.
So crazy, changing so quickly. So as you look ahead to 2018, what is your feeling as far as the pace of M&A transactions globally?
So we're seeing in our practice the activity being steady and actually increasing slightly. The financial buyer universe, the private equity community still has enormous amounts of unspent capital, and as a result, they're very actively looking to bid for companies where one would normally think a strategic acquirer would pay a higher price. The financial investors are very active, and many of the private equity firms have gained sector specialization, so they're actually approaching the strategic elements in the same way that a corporate would. So we're seeing that. The other element that we are seeing, our firm is very active in cross-border transactions. We continue to see that being a way for, whether it be a US company looking to Europe for an acquisition or vice versa, ways for companies to scale and reach new customer audiences.
Great information, Greg. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
Pleasure.